we find ourselves discussing PTSD, which is post-traumatic stress disorder as a result of the mother wound. And how we got here is because we are trying to find our ideal kind of persons after that mother wound experience. And remember, if you've not familiarized yourself with the vocabulary of the mother wound healing that we have created, feel free to ask for it and I will share it with you. So in our last video, we talked about PTSD and we said that it is caused in three, or it manifests in three ways, which would be cognitive, emotional, and physical. And when you experience the mother wound, to some level, your cognitive will show if you're paying attention, so will your emotions, but physically it's not really there. And how we ended up here at PTSD is because people were saying, I really have tried to do the work, but every time I hit this snag, I prefer to just maintain status quo. And so we are going to dig deeper into PTSD so that you can be able to calm that inner child and reassure them and finally bring them out of that painful position where they are, and so they feel that they cannot be authentic enough to confront their experience and also work on healing and restoration to catch up with the adult that you have become. So we're going to just go a few steps back into defining PTSD, which is a set of symptoms. So it's not one symptom. It's a set of symptoms that are experienced by a trauma survivor. And what this would look like is, as we talked about in our other video, startled responses, avoidance, withdrawal, sleep disturbances, distressing memories. You go somewhere and you just feel, no. You have flashbacks that are not positive or healthy, hypervigilance. And if you know my story, I have come a long way on this journey just because my PTSD was connected with other traumatic experiences despite the mother wound. And so what is the first way to prevent PTSD for someone who has been through a traumatic or disastrous event? This is done or helps the resolving by debriefing. And many times when we are children and we are going through life, rarely do people remember the child. Rarely do people say, oh, let's call the children and give them a small talk about what's happening. And so this critical incident stress debriefing, critical stress debriefing is very important. Whether you're going through a separation, a divorce, the loss of a loved one, the loss of a friend, the loss of a teacher, it is very, very important that even at that child level, that you engage with that mind and let them know what has transpired and what it's going to lead to and what might come out of it, just so that the child is also equipped to cope at their own level. And so PTSD sufferers who don't get this debriefing, what happens to them? Those stress hormones remain elevated. Can you imagine? So you're growing, you're moving on, you're adulting, you're marrying, you're relating, but those stress hormones have just been on the whole time. They did not get to be switched off. And so this exposes someone to what looks like permanent terror. And what are some of these things that could lead us to this situation of permanent terror? And it says here that medical procedures as well could contribute to PTSD. Maybe you went in for something and didn't come out the same. Maybe you had a baby and you